Yes, we are live now from NMC in Boston. Why don't we turn to the on-site folks first, and then we'll let the virtual folks introduce themselves.
Great. Thanks, Helen. I'm Greg. Conference is going great so far.
AK, educational troublemaker. Always good to be here, especially.
Absolutely.
Executive director of the NMC, and the conference is fantastic.
Whoever's running the show is doing a great job.
And I am Jill Leafstedt and enjoying the conference tremendously. So great to be here.
And I'm Michelle Pacansky-Brock, or Brokansky, I should probably introduce myself as. And I work with Jill at California State University Channel Islands, and it's been a great conference. Yeah, we're really enjoying all the people and the sessions and the wonderful place here in Boston that we're checking out every day. Yeah.
And Helen, Jill and Michelle just won, well, I should say CSU CI just won NMC's Center for Excellence, yes, award. Very exciting stuff.
Thank you.
Well done.
Can you tell us about that?
Yes, very honored.
Tell you about that.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, let me tell you a little bit about the contest, and then let you guys talk about the project program you guys are running. So the Center for Excellence Award has been around for a number of years, and the selection process hasn't traditionally been terribly scientific, nor have we given out the award every year. So it was like, oh yeah, we have this award thing. So we formalized it this year. We created a peer jury of past winners and created a rubric to look at different nominated projects that campuses were doing, and it's for NMC member campuses. And they are around, you know, kind of the different qualities of innovation. Are you doing something cool that's making a difference that other people could learn from? And I'm paraphrasing what the rubric is now, of course.
It's a little more difficult than that.
Yeah. Easy peasy. And we had close to 40 institutions submit projects. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 40 institutions submit projects, and we then had the jury look at all of the applications, and they graded it, and this one just very clearly surfaced to the top, and it was just a pleasure to be able to profile what the institution is doing and the impact that they're having with our community. And we'll post a video that they prepared on the NMC website later, but since they're here live in person, with me at least, let's hear what you guys have been doing.
Yeah, no, huge honor. I mean, I think we're a relatively small campus and new. So to be recognized in this way, one of the pieces that I was most excited about was we had to write about what we were doing for impact, right? Going beyond our campus and our walls. And that was what got me the most excited. So we talked about in our application and our work, you guys are probably familiar around, a lot of it's based around humanizing, being open and untethering all of our support for faculty and staff on campus. And so that was really at the heart of it, and then how we're doing it, what it is, and how we're sharing what we're doing beyond. So you guys are all obviously familiar with humanizing work that Michelle's done, and what you'll see in that is that everything is licensed through Creative Commons, everything is available on the web, and so she's, you know, kind of led us in that direction so that everything we're doing, we now have our OpenCI effort, which is around OER, following the same model. Everything, you know, is open and out there. We're trying to get faculty to understand sharing even more, right? And that they don't have to be locked away in their classroom. So what do you add to that?
The only thing I would add to that is the untethered piece. As some of you already know, I work 400 miles from campus, and my team has always, just from the very beginning, just been so inclusive. And looking at, I've been remote in other team settings as well, and being remote hasn't, you know, been embraced as, you know, an asset. It was always kind of like this obstacle. And from the very beginning, you know, Jill really just created a team with one of the values is inclusivity. And so Jill's background is in special education, so it makes a lot of sense in that regard. But, you know, every time we'd have a meeting, it was always, I was included in everything. We were testing tools. Can you hear? What video can we get to improve this? And as we started putting together programs and offerings for faculty, one of the questions was, well, how are we going to include, Michelle, who's remote? But then that extended into, well, then what about the faculty who want to be here but can't? Right. So it just over time, and then we started archiving everything that we were doing, and some things were edited down, but as we did something synchronously, we included folks who weren't on campus, and then we also started building, ongoing resources that were put online, shared openly, so that we were being sustainable with our efforts. And that's how we came to this moment of, wow, everything we're doing is very untethered. And so from the beginning, it wasn't really intentional, but it is very intentional now. But the process looking back was really, really cool.
I think one of the things that I'm the proudest of is we started a blog about 2.5 years ago now, maybe, and it was just started with our team, right? And slowly our faculty partners started taking over the blog. And so now once a week during the academic year, we have a faculty member that blogs about their innovations in teaching and learning. That's cool. And it's really exciting to watch them share, because you start to see it through their lens, what they're doing, and then they share that with a different group of people. I always send it out to their deans and chairs and, the top level administrators to show off what they're doing, but they end up sharing it through their networks. And we've had some really interesting interactions from that, where someone who teaches one class on campus is only there once a week found us because so-and-so passed so-and-so to them, and it finally landed on their desk. They got an idea, and now they want to know how to do something. So yeah, that's been a fun growth for us area.
And it makes it a lot more exciting than having a workshop, putting dozens of hours into that workshop and then having 2 people show up and then walking away with your chin on the ground. It's like we no longer view our impact through the number of people who come to a session. There's different ways of looking at it. And meeting the needs of such a diverse group of faculty, which is not unique to CI by any means.
How did you overcome the potential resistance from faculty members to publicly write about what they were doing in class and what worked and what didn't?
There was never any resistance. And I mean, our entire team is amazing, but the modeling that Michelle has done in being open and vulnerable and out there, I know, it has guided me, and I know the impact it's had on others. So having these models out there that are really well done, but knowing that she's a human being behind it, I know it got me putting myself out there, and so there we are as models. We also started with a real safe spot. I was a faculty member when I did this. I had no idea what I was doing, and so I started with a group of 10 faculty, and we all sat in a room, and I facilitated it because I've been preparing teachers and doing K-12 professional development for years. We all sat around and said, we don't know what we're doing, but the provost just gave us a chunk of money. Michael Berman was, on the side, a real champion for us. We sat around and kind of figured out how to do blended learning. So it was from that real honest place that we started building these faculty partners and faculty champions. So I think that took a lot of the fear away from it. And now it's kind of looked up to, people are proud. Like I wrote for the blog, and then it gets posted, people share them across the country. And that feels good, because who wants to write an article that 10 people read, right?
Right.
Even your parents won't look at the article you
That's a really good part of it, though, because, let's face it, faculty like recognition. And so when you see your peers do something and, it being retweeted or liked and all those sorts of things, that's what invites others. So it's very grassroots. And, there are faculty who are still resistant, but that's okay, because we have, now it feels like we're starting to say, oh, sorry, we don't have another Monday for you to post. So, we're kind of at maximum capacity with blogging. It's wonderful. Yeah, I know, it's wonderful.
So you've reached the tipping point where you've got critical mass with the number of people that are participating?
Yeah, I think so. It goes, like anything in academia, it goes with the cycles, right? So we start off the year where are people, you know, finding people. But then once we put the call out to our core people, they all sign up and it goes. So I'm not going to say it's without effort, you know, because there's effort in getting people to write things and to feel confident. But we don't, it's not a big struggle to find people to come in and write. It's just the coordination, the administration.
As you were talking, I was really thinking of the connection between what you do, Michelle, around humanizing everything you do, and then universal design for learning from the almost from the special ed perspective. How do you see those two coming together in what you're doing?
Perfect match. I mean, I think part of the untethering came about from this idea of universal design, right? That you need an entry point for everybody. So rather than looking at it from individual differences in learning styles, it's individual difference in work styles, right? And we have 60% of our faculty are part-time, which is really a high proportion. And so, and some of them are there, you know, 1 day a week. They're just multiple styles. Then you have your faculty that are really into research and they're not so into faculty development, but they want the information. So once you figure out who all the players are, then finding what avenue they can get to the information and making sure the information is there. And that's an ongoing struggle. I mean, we just got some great feedback from a group of faculty last week, you know, about the pathway they were taking to get to the information and they didn't land there. So it goes back, the keynote this morning really resonated. He talked about, you know,
I was thinking about you guys.
Experience.
Yeah,
exactly.
I
Since
love
you're a student, it was
everything.
awesome.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
So, but you know, that really is universal design, right? Multiple means, multiple modalities. So I think it comes back to that. And then being there, that humanizing part of that presence of knowing who our team is and being present and responsive allows people to keep coming back.
Can I ask you, for the part-time faculty that were contributing to the blog, did you find that their participation increased job satisfaction with the part-time faculty?
Can I come run a study for us?
I mean, I would be really interested. I mean, because I don't think it's all that uncommon for universities to have a large percentage of part-time faculty. I'm finding more and more that that's extremely common. Yeah. And part-time faculty, they can be undervalued on a campus. They can feel undervalued in comparison to the response, you know.
I think you'd find that. That's exactly what you'd find. I mean, and the sense of community is one of the things that I think part-timers often don't have.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So feeling included and not like, you know, I mean, I've been a part-timer and I felt that way, and it's like, oh, well, I can't be there, so I feel bad that I can't be there, and you know, I don't feel as valued because things happen in a way that aren't constructed to support me. So, and I don't think it's intentional. You know, I think that in higher education we're so place-based. Right. And we're so workshop oriented, you know, but if we really take a few steps back and live in another world and think about the way that people are connecting and learning today, there are so many better ways to facilitate professional development. So, but I think that's a great question, and I'd love to see it studied.
We do have some examples. Our composition team has gotten very engaged with our team, so freshman composition, and there's one tenured faculty on there, pre-tenured faculty, and the rest are lecturers. And they repeatedly tell us that, you know, without you guys, we wouldn't have felt such a part of the community. And it's helping place them in the university so they recognize how important their work is. And that's been really fun. I mean, from where I sit, to get to show off their work, because they don't easily come about seeing that context, right? They don't have that bigger picture always. They're teaching all the time. And so that's really exciting to be like, they're doing really great work. They're now getting recognition across the healthcare system and becoming leaders in professional composition. So that's an exciting one, and they give us lots of feedback. They chat. So,
Helen, any question from the virtuals?
Actually, yeah, I'm gonna invite Sue to jump in. She had something she wanted to say.
I hope you can hear me. If you could just confirm that, because yeah, that's cool. I'm really excited about this idea of the blog, because we've been talking today at our institution. So just to give a bit of context, I'm from England, so I work at an institution in the north of England, Sheffield Hallam University. And one of the things that I'm really passionate about is sharing our practice, you know, being an open educationer, giving things Creative Commons license and all this sort of thing. So I love it. And, you know, there's a community that I've learned from, hence why I'm here today. But there's almost a culture of or something that we have to change the culture and give people permission to do this. People are really worried and are hesitant about open sharing and blogging and what it means. So, you know, there's almost, as a part of my role as an educational developer, which is academic development, is helping academics understand how they do this, you know. So the people that have done it and get it, and they're already sort of down that exciting road, that's fantastic. But there are still people on the starting blocks that are very worried, and, you know, what does it mean? And even social media, you know, they're quite hesitant in contributing to that. So, you know, they'll write papers, they'll go out and do presentations, but, you know, what do I say on Twitter? What do I put in 140 characters? What would I put in a blog post? So there's still a lot to be done, I think, to help people feel more comfortable. And I like the idea that you started with a small group in the faculty, and maybe they're the kind of the role models or the champions that if you give them the confidence to post, and then, you know, people could see that and think, actually, it's not as tricky or scary as I thought. But people need to be invited, and it's yeah, it's an interesting thing. But one of the things that we're looking at, because within England we've got the government's introduced this teaching enhancement framework. So you have to look at teaching excellence and student learning gain. And one of the things that I've been pushing and presented on is celebrating teaching excellence and learning gain. So rather than it being a quality measure of these things, that we do it anyway, because for the students it's great to celebrate what they're doing, and for teachers it's good to celebrate what we're doing and to share other people's stuff. So it's not just you posting what you're doing, but acknowledging others' work. Yeah.
As soon as you were talking, I think about that even those that aren't posting benefit. I mean, that's one of the great things.
Absolutely, yeah.
We don't know how many readers there are, but we know that people are being reached beyond those that are posting. So we might not get them all to become, really participatory in the creation process, but if we can get that information to them, steps in the right direction for sure. Definitely.
Sue, I just want to say thank you for all you've shared, because I learned so much from you.
Oh, thank you.
Whether it's like put on SlideShare, or I have favorited and saved so much of your stuff over time. I'm so glad that we're finally having the opportunity to talk, and we would love to have you join us at CI in a kind of a, we call them what do we call them, perforated meeting. We tried connecting with you last year, and we're going to try again. So
I'd love to, definitely. Yeah. It's been a crazy year, and lots of things going on personally and at work. But yeah, I would love to, because
we can make it work. We've done it with Dave and his team out at MSU, and that was wonderful. We learned a lot from them. Those kinds of exchanges are really powerful. I think that if anything, I hope if anyone who might be listening live or watch the archive, I mean, I just want to really advocate for more cross-institutional learning.
Definitely.
Not to say that learning within our own institution, faculty to faculty, isn't important, and we shouldn't start there. But with the suite of tools that we have in front of us, as we're demonstrating here today, there is no reason why it has to stop at the edge of our own institution. Right. And especially what you just said, Sue, about culture. I mean, culture is different at every institution, and the more we see that and understand how it works at other institutions, I think that's when we start to really learn and bring new ideas in that can shift mindsets.
Yeah, and I think it's that old thing where, you know, sometimes seeing people from outside of your institution, it's like, oh gosh, they're doing that, maybe we ought to do that. Whereas, you know, you suggest it, and it's happened to me. You know, I've suggested things at home, my home base, and yeah, okay, so you've got another cranky, crazy idea, and then, you know, another institution will say, this is fantastic, you know, or whatever. So yeah, you've got to experiment, really, haven't you? And I think because of the technology we've got, it's not just cross-institution, it's global institution. So, and that takes it to a whole new level completely. Something quite interesting that I've been involved in is with another university in England, been invited to give a keynote, and to kind of distill the story. There's been a couple of keynotes for each of the conferences each year, and they've now invited them to be visiting teaching fellows. So I'm now a teaching fellow of this other institution. So the output of that would be that I would contribute to their conference and maybe some seminars, and you know, we could do that virtually. So is there something that we could, you know, adopt as a virtual teaching fellow so that you could contribute? And it doesn't need any funding because it doesn't, you know, people aren't getting paid for that role, but you know, it's acknowledgement of people's work, but also it's that cross fertilization of, you know, sort of lots of different experiences.
I'll contribute one thing before I have to step out. If that happens, I'd love to help promote it through our network and our sorry, I have to leave. Enjoy.
And I'm just going to check in on site. Greg, do you guys need to head out shortly, or can we talk a little bit longer?
I need to head out, but if you can reach me afterwards so I can pick up some mic, or you can go to at the end of the day.
Sure. Michelle and Jill, you have a session to go to?
2:45 it starts, yeah.
Okay, so we've got a little bit of time because Dave would like to jump in with a question, and I noticed that DePauli just joined us.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'll be real quick here. I just want to say thank you guys for sharing what you're doing, and I'm really glad to hear that you got this award because it's very well deserved, and I especially appreciate the emphasis on modeling that you've done. But the reason you truly have something to be proud of in what you're doing here is you've cultivated a community of faculty who are willing also to put themselves out there and share the things they're doing. So my only question is, I know Jill, you and Michelle, you also come into this work from an experience as a faculty member teaching, and I'm curious how that has informed your work now as you're stepping into roles where you're helping with faculty development.
I can't imagine doing it without that experience. I think that I don't know, it's hard to answer that question because I don't know what it would be like if I didn't have it, but I draw upon my own experiences so frequently. So if I were to take all of that out, I don't know what I would do. So that's the only way I can answer it. But I do think it helps faculty to just, you know, that credibility and just also empathy, you know, knowing that when they're sharing a problem, it's like, oh yeah, I know exactly how that feels, you know. So
yeah, I mean, it was really, really important for me, you know, when I started all of this, and I was a faculty member for, through the first 3 years of getting things going on campus. And it was really helpful, but I have to say that having a balanced team, you know, we have 3 instructional technologists that have not taught, 2 have been motivated to go get their masters and find their areas of specialty within that. And they do contribute a different perspective, but we started our faculty fellowship program, and part of that program is just becoming part of our team. They're always asking me, well, don't I have to do something? And I'm like, nope, you got to have ideas, and you need to come to the meetings with us, right? Because we just need your voice and your perspective. And fabulous stuff. You know, these faculty are doing amazing things. And so having that balance of voices where there's people that are busy getting the work of the university done and getting the technology running and maintaining everything, and really doing the day-to-day support with faculty balanced with the faculty perspective. And then, you know, Michelle and I, who have been faculty members and are now in this role, I think that makes a nice balance to the ideas. We don't get overwhelmed one direction or the other. There's a little centering that goes on every now and then. So,
thank you, Dave. Shares.
And I think that's an important message for a lot of people that I know work with faculty and don't necessarily have the faculty background. It really does take both perspectives to make it work well.
Oh, Polly?
Yeah, DePaulie's working remotely and just listening by the looks of it.
All right.
Hello. Yes, I'm trying to. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I know Michelle very well, and Helen and everyone. Michelle has always been a champion in online education, and I'm looking forward. I know we are at the end of the session, but I will still watch the recording and love to learn some new emerging technologies. Thank you, Helen, and thank you, everyone.
Nice to hear from you. Thanks for being here.
What session are you guys going to?
Nori is doing a session that I can't remember the title of right now,
yeah.
but it's
the Digital Innovation Awards from last year with the courseware, the OLC Awards.
her and Dave Goudsword are going to be doing some kind of, it has some performative nature to it. It sounds really fun. So
Comedy show.
Yeah.
And another full day tomorrow.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Jill and I are presenting tomorrow afternoon on untethering.
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much for joining us. I know that you do need to run at some point, but I really appreciate you taking the time to connect virtually with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Yes, it was fun.
Thanks for joining in, everybody.